Yo, what's up fanbase, it's your boy Blaze Hollow coming at you with another what if, and this time we bring you what if Deku had all for one part 23, but before we get into that I have a few things I want to say to you and about my friends and crew. My first thank you goes to my editor Ed, who does a lot of hard work on this stuff, so I hope that he appreciates the shout out. That there will also be a link to his channel in the description. My second thanks goes to my thumbnail artist Dubset. I'll see if I can find if his channel is still online. If it is, I'll be putting it in the description down below as well. And my final thanks goes to Kirisho for helping me out with a few ideas and giving me a bunch of shoutouts on his channel. We've been hanging out a lot lately, so I hope that my story writing will be improving. But with all that said, let's finally start that intro and get into the story. Hit it, guys.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
There was complete silence in the area as all three of them were staring at each other. Titan was starting to realize that the rain was changing from bluish purple to pure black. Getting worried, started to stare toward Ranto, who was turning his body into liquid rain, motioning with his eyes for them to retreat. Toxin was confused, wondering why his opponents haven't dropped dead yet. Why are you not dead yet? Ranto started running, using the raindrops as a way to fly into the air. You gotta get out of here, Titan. We don't know what's going to happen when your real body is exposed to that poison. Titan started to run away, only for him to fall onto his left side, realizing that that part of his body has started to turn purplish black. What the hell happened to the left side of my body? It doesn't seem like it wants to move, and I think it's starting to spread. Toxin started to laugh as he stomped his way over to the fallen Titan. Poison, virus, complete. Are you scared yet of me? Titan looked back at Toxin with a glare in his eye, knowing that half his body has already been affected and not being able to move. I'm only truly scared when I know I am no longer being useful to the boss. He then proceeded to swipe with his good arm, scratching Toxin in the chest, causing the creature to jump backwards. But when I look at you, all I see is a new opponent that I need to get stronger against. Ranto was shaking his head, realizing that Titan missed a massive opportunity to eject out of his giant form and get away, but instead made himself a bigger target. We gotta move, Titan. You need to hurry up and get out of there before your real body gets hurt. Toxin looked up towards one of the buildings, seeing the figure that was made out of water from earlier, seeming to point his scorpion tail right at him as he shot one of his poison bullets at it. Ally of all for one. Ranto leaped out of the way of the shots as he was using the reins as a platform, as he then congealed them into a solid shape for him to stand on. Oh, come on. I know I'm not that big of a target as you are, but you can at least try to aim better. He then looked towards Titan, hoping that he was going to figure out that he was trying to be a distraction for Toxin. Come on, try and hit me. Titan was able to roll his damaged body to his left side as he was seeing that his ally was being attacked, but then it looked like he was actually playing with the enemy. Taking this opportunity, he angled his neck to point towards one of the glass doors of the building nearby as he ejected from his Titan body like a loaded spring trap, as he then slammed into the glass door, breaking through it. I seriously hope that Toxin didn't just realize what I was doing. He then brushes some of the glass shards out of his skin and face. I really hate being covered in glass. Toxin looked towards the rotting / decaying body, feeling like he finally took out one of his enemies, only to be shot with a water-like bullet as he turned towards Ranto. One down, one to go. Ranto was not enjoying the idea of being broken apart by this mutated creature. Bring it on, ugly. I'm a lot tougher than Titan. As the both of them clash, we go back inside of the building that Titan crashed into as he was trying to get to the back door, but once he got there, he stopped dead in his tracks as he saw the black like rain, wondering what he should do, only for him to decide to do something really stupid as he bit onto his hand, changing into a 15-meter armored Titan. As the building that he was in started to crumble around him and fall towards Toxin and Ranto, he started to look back as he saw that the both of them them were crushed by the building as he started to run towards the four-way intersection, where everybody else was trying to get out of the lethal range of toxin poison. I hope that Ranto isn't going to be mad with me the next time that I see him. As we cut to the rubble, we start to see it breaking apart as some of it was moved out of the way as Toxin reveals himself to be a little bit bloody but nowhere near lethal damage, as he looks pissed chasing after the giant creatures as we cut away to everybody else within the golden building. Shinso is the first person to notice Titan stomping his way over to them as he can notice little black spots on his Titan form. Be ready, our giant friend didn't stick to the plan and he doesn't look good to boot. All for One goes over to the window so he can get a better look, getting concerned by those black splotches on Titan. If the poison in the rain is starting to affect something so big, I can only imagine what it would do to any of you the moment it touches you. Ochako started to shake, worried that they were going to die just by the rain alone. What are we going to do if that stuff touches us? We're dead on the spot. Medic just shook her head, upset with this little girl, making all females look weaker by her actions. You need to calm down. As long as I'm able to treat the situation in time, you won't be killed. I'm pretty sure as long as you don't do anything stupid like the rest of them are going to do, you'll survive. Izuku walks over to one of the windows as he starts to shape the gold to make a passageway, being careful not to let any of the rain touch him from the opening. Titan, where is the creature and are you okay? Titan continued to charge forward, trying to get to the building as he noticed Izuku. I'm okay, boss. Be careful. This poison is lethal. It nearly took me out of my Jaws Titan form. Also, if Ranto is complaining to you about the falling building, it's because I didn't have any other choice. I'm hoping though that I crushed the creature with it. Just as that's being said, Titan was shot in the eye with a stinger, revealing toxin on one of the buildings as he was covered in scrapes and cuts from the rubble as he came out from it. Your plan sucked. Next time when you kill someone, confirm it, not run away. Aiden was reeling from the damage to one of his eyes as he was also concerned when he saw that the creature still was alive but barely even damaged from the falling building. Oh yeah, then why don't you try one of these on for size? Throwing one of his massive fists right where Toxin is, smashing into the building. Don't talk shit if you ain't ready to get hit. Toxin was able to dodge the massive fist as he started to charge up Titan's arm and dig his stinger into his flesh as he forced more of the poison into Titan. Toxin leaped up right where the face was with his left arm swelling like it was ready to burst. Once he punched the face of Titan, it blew up like an explosion, sending Titan falling into one of the nearby skyscrapers. Size isn't everything if your strength is limited. Izuku was horrified seeing Titan get torn apart so easily. Don't worry, Titan, I'm coming to help you. He was getting ready to leap out of the building into the rain only to feel someone put his hand on his shoulder, seeing that it was Shinso trying to stop him. What are you doing? Let go of me. I need to help him. Shinso was keeping a tight grip on Izuku's shoulder, making sure that he didn't go out into the rain. If you go out there and that rain touches you, you'll be a dead man walking. Izuku was starting to panic a little bit as he could hear the crumbling of the building that Titan fell into, as he was also being poisoned by the rain at the same time. Then what should we do? Shinso was trying to think, knowing that their options were not that great. We might need to blow a hole in the roof. The poison might become a vapor, but at least we might have a better chance while it's converting over. All for One pushed both of the boys out of the way as he stepped towards the threshold, holding out one of his arms as he was getting ready to shoot out the air cannon. I think you boys forget that we can fight at long range, and we literally are standing on a substance that one of us can manipulate to keep us safe. Toxin was falling towards the ground as one of his arms was slowly growing back, only for him to get hit with a high-pressured wind blast, sending him flying into one of the nearby buildings. The creature shakes it off as he comes out of one of the holes that he came in from, as Toxin sees the legend himself, All for One. Target found. All for One jumped out of the building, using a small wind burst to cushion his fall as he started to walk down the street. It's because of creatures like you that made me want to lead the group that I helped form. If I could have seen what the doctor was becoming, I would have stopped your creation before you even became a thought. Toxin jumped down to the street level as he seemed to be charging, but it was at a moderate speed, not wanting to rush towards All for One. I was told you were You're dead. How are you standing here? All for One chuckled a little bit as he held out his hand towards Toxin. Don't always believe what you hear. Shooting another massive wind blast, but noticing that the creature dodged out of the way. You definitely are nimble on your feet. Toxin picked up some of the model cars that were on the street as he started to chuck them right at All for One. No matter. Must be weak if only using one ability. All for One was a little bit shocked by that, as he does know that he's a lot weaker than he ever would be, since he doesn't have full access to every ability like Izuku, but tries to play it off. I only need one ability to defeat a creature like you. While the both of them were clashing, we go back inside the building with the remaining group, Izuku trying to come up with something while Shinso was standing in front of the hole, making sure that nobody else tried to do anything stupid, while Ochako actually came up with an idea. Look, I don't understand the situation that much, but I remember you saying earlier, Izuku, that you can manipulate gold in the building. Why don't you try to make tendrils so you can pull Titan over here to safety? Izuku was thinking about it, but then realized that even with all the material that he might be using, it might not be enough or even strong enough to pull that heavy body. As much as I would want for that to work, Titan is too big and too heavy at the moment for me to be able to move him with the gold-like tendrils. Ochako was about to speak up about using her zero gravity, but then realized how much danger she'd be putting herself in. If one of those raindrops actually touched her, she literally would drop dead. Or worse, that creature could come after her. Well, if the situation was different, I would help, but I'm just too scared to go out there. And so realized that Ochako had a zero gravity quirk, and with a single touch she could make Titan weightless, which could then let Izuku use his golden tendrils to pull him back into safety. Well, you're going to have to swallow your fears. We gotta get over there. Our friend is dying. Medic was watching out the window, seeing that Titan was trying to move, but his face was messed up, but also trying to regrow as more of his body started to turn more blackish. We don't have time to have this debate. Why don't you just take her quirk and use the gold to cover yourself, Izuku? Chako stepped back in fear as she realized that she might lose her quirk in this situation. Are you crazy? I'm not just going to hand over my quirk, because if there's a chance that the rest of you might die here, I would be quirkless for the rest of my life. Shinso was starting to get angry as he was running out of patience. You gotta do it, Izuku. Take her quirk if she's not going to be useful. Izuku was listening to the both of them argue as they went back and forth. He didn't care and he didn't need her power. He didn't need any of this. He just needed to get close and decided to take Medic's advice and cover his body in gold as he ran out of the building. I don't need her power and I don't take quirks without permission. Medic, Shinso, and Ochako watched as Izuku was making his way over to Titan. The three of them were shocked, but they also started to notice that some of the rain was melting away some of the gold, like it was becoming acidic, as Shinso wanted to jump down and help but was then held back by Medic. The moment you jump out of this room, you'll be dead. The ones that have the greatest chance of surviving are already out there, but there is one thing I want to say. As she turns to face Ochako, a situation like this scares you to the core and you're willing to watch everybody else around you die, then you're in the wrong profession. You're not a hero, you're a spotlight hog. Ochako was shocked, not knowing how to feel about that statement. What do you expect me to say? I'm not experienced like the rest of you. What I said before is valid. Nobody can survive in this world without a quirk. And so just clenched his fist. I swear, if the both of them die because of your actions, I will never forgive you, and I'll make sure that I spend the rest of my life making sure that your career never goes off. Ochako was angry at that as she started to stand her ground, looking a little bit intimidated, even though she could really tell that neither one of them was scared of her. Are you seriously threatening me right now? Not everybody has to live up to your group's standards, so get off your high horse. Medic screamed out for the first time at the both of them. That's enough. Stop arguing like children. We're in a life or death situation right now, so we don't need to be throwing around threats. I need the both of you to keep your eyes on the field in case Izuku or All for One need backup. I'll make sure to be ready to support them by finding a way to do so. While we turn our focus to the streets as we see Izuku running as fast as he can as he trying to get to Titan as he summons Firefox, who starts to run alongside him, who was also very concerned but trying to keep an upbeat attitude. While this is a surprise, I thought of all the others you could bring out to help you. I thought that you would bring out the Crimson King, but why me? Izuku just kept an eye on his fallen friend/brother figure. It's because I left Medic with the others just in case they get hurt or get caught in the crossfire. I'll be having you help me by removing some of the infected flesh from Titan by using your flames. And Titan will just take the rest of the time to regenerate afterwards. It's better to be in pain than to be dead, right? Firefox just tilted his hat, covering parts of his face. I truly do agree with you there, but how about yourself? I've noticed that chunks of gold that you've been using to cover yourself are getting thinner and thinner as we get to our destination. Are you even going to be able to survive long enough for us to even help, Titan? Izuku finally arrived at the base of the broken building as he climbed through the rubble trying to get to the head of Titan. As long as I'm able to use my ghoul quirk once the armor is completely gone, I should be able to keep myself alive as long as I'm able to regenerate. It's not a perfect situation, but it should help us with our situation right now. Firefox was jumping through the broken building like it was nothing for him as he arrived at the head first as he inspected the nape, seeing that it wasn't infected. Good news, the neck area hasn't been infected yet. Izuku finally made his way up there, a little bit winded as he made his tail appeal from his ghoul quirk as he then sliced open the nape and pulled out the scorched and unconscious Titan from his giant form. Please don't be dead, Titan. He removed the golden helmet that he had on his head as he then proceeded to put his ear on Titan's chest to listen for a heartbeat. Come on, give me something. I know you're stronger than this, Titan. Don't let this creature win by taking you out. Firefox was worried for the both of them as he used his cape to shield them from the rain. Anything, Izuku? Come on, give me some good news. Izuku was breathing heavily a little bit, panicking as he wasn't hearing anything for a moment, but then he heard a faint heartbeat. Oh, thank God, he's still with us. He's just very, very weak. We need to get him to Medic right now. Firefox smiled, knowing that they haven't lost anybody. Then let's hurry up and get him back to Medic. She might be able to bring him back to consciousness if we get to her in time. They were getting ready to move the unconscious Titan, only for them to hear a loud banging noise as the entire building vibrated as they could see something coming out of the chest cavity of the armored Titan, revealing it to be Toxin, who was holding up the body of All For One by the throat as he got a sick twisted idea as everybody could hear the popping sound of All For One's neck as he then turned to look at them as he popped out of existence. He was weak. Will you be stronger? Firefox's fingertips quickly lit with flames of different colors as he started to chuck little fireballs at Toxin. If you want to get to the master, you had to get past me and my amazing trick. Toxin just had a devilish grin on his face. I already have, you fool. Firefox was confused by that for only a second as he then felt a piercing right through his chest cavity. As he looks down to see Toxin's tail piercing right through his chest cavity, he then slowly looks towards the ground to see that that's where it came from as he looks back with painful and sorrow in his eyes towards Izuku. I'm sorry I failed you, master. Izuku saw Firefox pop as the creature then started to stomp towards them as he was getting up and ready to defend his friend with his life. That's when he felt a hand on his wrist as he looked back carefully and saw that Titan was squeezing onto it with his bated breath, trying to say something, but he was struggling to say it. Please leave me behind, boss. My life is not worth yours. You can always replace me. Izuku had tears in his eyes, not wanting this to be the last thing he might hear from Titan. Don't say that. We're going to get out of here together, so just stay strong. I'll beat him right here, right now. Titan tried to put some more strength into his grip, but it wasn't that much. Please, you have so many other subordinates. I am yet a footnote in your story. I am not worth dying for. My main purpose was designed to keep you safe. Izuku quickly snapped his head back as he noticed that Toxin was about to attack them as he lifted up his arm quickly to shoot him with a full-power air cannon, sending the creature flying across the entire city, knocking down at least 10 buildings in the process as he looked back at Titan. You are not expendable. I do not care what you think. You are my friend. No, you are my brother. And stop calling me boss because I keep on telling you my name is Izuku. Because we are equal, I am not better than you, but if you want to take one last order from me, then please live. Titan was shocked, not expecting that response, not knowing how to feel as his body was tired and aching, but he could feel sincerity from his boss. No, Izuku, as tears started to come down his face. And promise me if you're going to fight that thing that you're going to come back to us alive. Izuku stood up as he was tired watching all of his friends and allies take the beatings for him, but not anymore. more, as he started to feel a tug within himself to become the monster that his adoptive father told him about. If he was ready to do this, he was going to do it to defeat that abomination. If you want me to grant your request, then what is my name? Titan was about to call him boss again, but then bit his tongue as he was struggling to stay awake. Win this battle, Izuku. As if dramatic timing, a loud shrieking could be heard as toxin was recovered. As he started to run towards the both of them, Izuku broke away his golden armor plating that he had himself covered in. As he started to run down the building, his body started to change and reshape once he hit the street. He no longer looked human. He was doubled in size and muscle as his skin started to look like it was turning gold while it was flaking off from the heat that was coming off of his hair. That was a rainbow of flames with multiple holes seeming to be showing off of his arms. As for a red and black tail coming out of his back, as black like miasma seemed to be coming out of his mouth in a haze. As his legs seemed to be see-through, but upon closer inspection they looked like they were water as they started to change to a shade of black as they were taking in some of the raindrops. Before anybody else could say anything, these two monsters just punched each other as it sent out shockwaves, blowing away the rain and shaking up the entire area. Izuku looked right at Toxin with his new golden-like eyes. I have always heard that it takes a monster to defeat another monster. Toxin was letting off a glee-like feeling as he finally found a true opponent. You are like me. Only time will tell who is truly stronger, but I believe it is myself. Izuku wasn't saying words. All he was doing was growling as he took one of his tails and pierced right into the side of Toxin as he finally spoke again. Believe what you want, but I will not lose to you. Toxin steps back in pain, feeling the tendril go deeper into his side as he grabs onto it, using his scorpion-like tail to try to pierce into the head of Izuku. You even talk like me now. Both of them continue to throw punches and slashes, aiming for crucial points, even trying to bite each other. It looked like a stalemate of freaks. Nobody could move. Nobody wanted to say anything. They just couldn't believe what they were looking at. Only for the tide to change when Izuku has turned his hand into claws made out of gold with holes in them. As he pierces through the chest cavity of Toxin as he holds its beating heart in his hand, Toxin could feel his life slipping away as he used the last of his strength to get a firm grip on Izuku with a psycho-like smile. We die together. Izuku was about to pull away from the dying creature's grip only to see it starting to glow, and without even a second thought, the thing blew up right in his face as the entire place went white for an entire minute. And the sound of a bomb going off, everything in the area started to crumble away as the dome actually even fell apart. As part of the dome started to fall apart, Medic along with Shinso and Ochaku were completely shaken as the golden building that they were in was breaking apart, but luckily for them they only seemed to have light scratches and maybe light but also heavy bruising. Shinso was the first person to pop his head out of the rubble as he was waiting to see what was going to happen as he just saw a giant crater where the two creatures were fighting. Shinso just had tears going down his cheeks. No, it can't be. It can't end like this. But that's where I'm going to end it off this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment down below. But with all that said, I'm out this time. Peace.